Three, two, one. Broadcasting tape delayed from the Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. The Sports Economy 101 show is on. I'm Bill, and that's JP, and we're here to pump you up, baby. Today's show, JP, is about NIL and your favorite phrase, the gift that keeps on giving. Because it's a non-stop topic. So anyway, today, what we're going to be discussing, the reason we're at the Yum Center in Louisville put out a paper basically saying this. Louisville officials warn college athletics running out of time amid rising costs. So what they're saying is they can't sustain this, paying this much money. They can pay players, but they can't keep competing with Miami, Michigan, Ohio State, LSU, where our favorite Lane Kiffin is. It's all right. So I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. It's got just a few sentences anyway. Leaders at the University of Louisville are raising concerns about the long-term financial viability of collegiate athletics, stating quite bluntly that the math no longer works. The math no longer works, as in the white papers that they called this. Officials emphasize the Louisville situation is not unique. Ohio State reportedly lost $37.7 million when they won the national championship. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So and this is like, what they say.
Congratulations. You won the championship, brokey.
Yeah. You lost. All right, so this right here is what the actual paper said. According to the paper, the athletics department spends $167 million annually, but generates roughly $155 million in revenue. Okay, that would be a loss, folks. Resulting in a recurring deficit. Reserves that once stood at $34 million have dwindled to around $3.4 million. To cover the $20.5 million revenue sharing obligations to athletes, the NCAA says schools can pay $20.5 million for their entire athletics program. Right. Then you got what boosters kick in, which is on the side. That's not this. So anyway, so here's the kicker. The new revenue sharing obligation to athletes. The school tapped a $25 million line of credit. You know what that means? You're broke. Jaden's broke.
Right. That's right. I mean,
That's
look,
right.
Essentially what it is, a grown adult who doesn't know how to handle their expenses, and they're going out, let's say a young adult. Yeah. They got a job, they're on their own, they got their own place. And you know what? They're going out all the time, they're going out to the club, going out partying and drinking.
Uber Eats every day.
Right, Uber Eats. Yeah, every night they're eating out, right?
Yep.
And then when all of a sudden, all the money that they have is starting to dwindle down. And what do? They go to their parents and they say, I can't pay my mortgage this month. I'm really struggling and this, that, and the other. But they don't want to stop the spending that they're doing, right? Yeah. They can't do it, because they're accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Yeah. And it's the same way with these colleges. They're spending and spending and spending to maintain a winning team.
Yeah.
And then now that but they're spending more than they actually make. So how do they make it up?
They borrow money.
They borrow money from they get booster money, or they borrow money from other places, or they move money around and manipulate the books. However they do it. But
keep the plate spinning, folks.
Have the money. Right? They don't have the money to sustain this for years to come.
Yeah.
And they see it. But what's the problem is, yes, the boosters, if you go to a school that's winning, more than likely they're going to, hey, what do you need? A few $1 million? Oh, yeah, yeah, no
What do
problem.
you need? Here,
Oh,
take
yeah,
it.
hey. But if you got a top 10 team and you in basketball and you
Yeah,
get to the NCAA tournament and you lose in the second round,
yeah,
chances are, if you keep doing that, chances are the team is not going to get the money from the boosters on a regular basis. And that is the problem.
yeah. I'll give you a tale of woe, folks. The University of Kentucky, which I follow somewhat, they spent a reported
Somewhat.
22 to somewhat. They spent a reported 22 to 24 million dollars on this team this year. They barely, everybody makes their conference tournament. Well, they barely made the conference tournament. They played in the first round. They won. But when you spend that much money, you're like, wait a minute, we barely made the conference tournament. And this put them over 20 wins. So next year, when they go back to the boosters and say, hey, we got to get a whole new team because that's the way the transfer portal
Where it goes
works.
now.
You got to get a whole new team. And we would like you to kick in an extra 50 grand more than you did last year. Oh, why would I do that? You lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which they probably will.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you keep asking for more money?
Yeah.
The problem with it is only one team wins. Only one team wins. In most cases, uh, all the teams end up failures, right? Except one. You do have in college, you can have somebody win a major bowl game. Yeah. You could have somebody win their conference championship. Okay. They could have a good season, and they haven't been winning over in the past years. Okay, that's a plus. But
Indiana.
Correct.
Yeah.
Indiana. Last year when they first started getting good, people were losing their minds, and I'm sure
Yeah.
after decades of being one of the worst teams in college football, all of a sudden, I bet you if they ask for money right now, people will have no problem.
Yeah. Handing it over.
Right.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, I don't think so.
No.
So it's a flawed system, is what it is. When you compare it to the NFL or even the NBA, right? Those organizations have been doing this. They have had a business plan for decades. They're not. There is nothing that they are shocked by. There is no revenue. That all of a sudden they go, why are we losing money here? Or where is this money coming from? We didn't expect this money. No, it is all planned and accounted for. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But college sports, after
They're
this
just
whole
they're
NIL
just throwing
thing,
money out there.
right? They don't have a system, so
No.
they're literally like, oh, what does he want? He wants $2 million to play for us. Okay, great, $2 million. Here you go.
Well, look what Miami just did with Duke's quarterback. They're just throwing money out there.
Right. That's right. And who was it? The boy from Ohio, the boy who left Ohio State, went to Miami, got paid, and then he got to the championship game against Indiana.
You talking about the quarterback?
Yeah, the quarterback.
He was at Georgia.
Beck.
He was at Georgia.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's right, Georgia. Beck. He was with Georgia. They moved on from him. Well, he moved on from them. Went to Miami for the greener pastures, and it worked out for him. And it worked out for Miami.
Yeah.
It helped. It got them back on the map. They were on the national. They were in the national championship game. So the U may be back. But there are many schools who gamble like that, and it doesn't work out the way they want, which is a majority of the schools. And it's like gambling. It truly is gamble because right now they don't have the business plan they need to sustain this, and a lot of colleges they're gonna end up crumbling.
Yeah. Granted, these conferences, the Big Ten, the SEC, get billions of dollars from their TV contracts, but that money has to filter down to every school, and all the way down, everybody gets their cut. So
That's right.
by the time your school gets what they're getting, it's not enough to maintain your yearly spending level. Because what do you think it costs to compete in the Big Ten in a football program? Because
Oh,
Oregon has all kinds of money to spend.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And UCLA, which is in the Big Ten, I know nobody realizes that. They're in a deficit every year.
Yeah, they're
You know.
yeah they're.
And
I think UCLA is a smaller private school, but they are in the city of LA. But
UCLA is a private UCLA.
I
It's
think UCLA
it's
is
part of the University of
no,
California
no, no. That's right. It's part of the
school
University
system.
of California.
Yeah.
Right. Uh, but they are. They've been
They're
known, of
big
course, for
money.
the basketball, and they've
Yeah.
had good football teams. But those days of USC and UCLA dominating in football it's been a long time. You
Yeah.
know, USC has had some runs, but it'll be interesting to see what USC does now that they're in the big whatever it is, right? The big,
86.
the big
The-
25, whatever,
Whatever
whatever.
it is.
I don't even know how many teams are in the Big Ten
I
anymore.
don't either. I have no idea.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just put it like this: it's just hard to imagine college sports sustaining, keep being able to keep going the way they are. They
Yeah.
have to change something. They have to change something, whether it's in the courts. They have to change something,
Yeah.
or
Well,
else what will end up happening is uh, the additional money that they need, they will be getting it in ways in which they should not.
yeah. Well, this article that I got says there has to be a hard salary cap with enforceable rules. The NFL and Major League Baseball, the NFL and the NBA, they have enforceable rules if you break the salary cap.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
right.
Right. Right.
And you brought up the point of, well, with with the larger conferences and everybody, the smaller conferences
Yeah.
kind of going away, and yes, the bigger conferences, they are getting a good chunk of money from being in these large conferences. But the difference is they were always getting that money,
Yeah.
right? They may just be getting a little bit more now because they're in bigger conferences, but they weren't paying anything like they are in. Well, okay, they were paying things, but
Yeah.
under the table.
No,
Right?
they weren't shelling out $2 million for a
That's
tight
right.
end.
That's right. Even the stuff that was crooked was
Yeah.
like, hey, we'll give the kid a job at a car dealership, and
Or
we'll pretend like he's driving one of the car dealerships'
Yeah.
cars.
yeah, they
as
give you a
part of his job.
$40,000 car.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll give your family a little, spending money. We'll give
Yeah.
them enough money to pay their mortgage during the football
Yeah.
season.
Well,
You
we'll
know,
use Reggie Bush for example. He got
Right.
some money. It wasn't an extreme amount of money.
That's right. Although some people said they bought him a house. I don't know about, I don't know if they bought him the house or
Or they renting a house.
right, whatever it was. It was crooked,
Yeah.
but it's nowhere near what these guys are getting paid now.
Yeah.
And what these guys actually ask for.
They got
raising,
agents that just
raising,
show up.
they were like, hey, you're a good high school player. You're one of the top 10 high school players in the country. What would you like? I would like $1.5 million to play
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
And I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to be there next year. So,
Yeah.
$1.5 million, for a guy
Well-
who's never played. You don't even know how he's going to do in college.
Well, Well, here's one for you. LSU has got 3 of the top 5 high school players. How much money is that costing?
Are you
3 of the
talking about
top 5.
currently, or are they just
LSU next year? LSU will have
next year?
3 of the top 5 high school players.
Is that football?
Football, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. How much does it cost for a football team with how many players do they have? They have like 40
I
some
don't
players
know.
roster.
I think home games you can dress out 75 players. I think.
Jesus Christ.
It may be more than that now. It may be up 100. But
Wow.
not everybody's getting paid. I would say of the 22 players that play, I will guarantee you at least 30 players on that team are getting paid large money.
Yeah. And here's my other thing, and I know this is kind of getting away with it, but it's still related to the NIL.
Yeah.
You're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds requesting a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Some of them are getting paid almost as much as their coach.
Yes.
For college, not
Yes.
pro.
College.
So
Yeah.
if a kid is getting $2 million and the coach is making 2.5 for the year,
Yeah.
you almost got a standoff. You know, yes, he's supposed to be listening to the coach. Yeah. But you know what? If you get a kid who's immature and doesn't follow the rules, and he's literally like, "Bitch, I make almost as much as you do. Get out of my face." You know, then it becomes a power struggle. How do you, uh,
discipline
keep
them?
these kids in check? Yeah, how do you discipline them? If you discipline them, or if you treat them in any way that they don't like, they just transfer the next year.
Yeah. Well, say a college basketball game. Some kid just ain't playing the way you want it to. He's making a lot of money, so you sit him on the bench. He's like, fine, I'm not going to play anymore this year. I only got a month left, and I'm leaving.
No, that happened like 2 years ago. Someone for St. John's when what's his name? Pitino? Pitino.
Rick
right?
Pitino.
Yeah. He benched a guy who was like a junior, and he was one of his better players. And the kid, he benched him late in the game because the kid wasn't playing well. He was trying to do too much in the tournament game, and he benched him.
Yeah.
And it became a big thing, and that boy ended up leaving. So, and it was all because of that. Apparently he had a good relationship with the coach before that, and he just didn't understand it, and he never let it go, and he was gone. So, how do you actually try to discipline kids who are making that much money? It's just out of control, and the system is broken. And yet, the college tournament starts next Thursday, and I will be the first one to be watching.
Right on. Because sports is still great, even though it's all corrupt and it's all about gambling anyway. Because the first thing I ever think about anything whatsoever, what's the angle on the bets? We were talking today about Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points. And what's my first thought is, were the Washington Generals in on this? Ain't that right?
That's you right. Sure did. We literally were players on the bench, on DraftKings on their phone, making bets about how many free throws Bam was going to have for the night.
Is he going to shoot over 40 free throws?
Oh, he's going to shoot over 40.
Oh, yeah, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Hey, and if you think that college players aren't rigging games, you are mistaken, folks. That's right. So anyway, that's the question out there, folks, is the NIL, as it currently constituted, can it work? I personally don't think it's going to last. Something's got to be done.
It can't.
You know.
It's
See,
not
the reason pro sports can spend all this money, we use Major League Baseball, is because they only have this many teams. College is huge.
Yeah.
And it has all these non-revenue generating sports that they have to support. You know. So it costs a lot of money.
Think about it like this. You take the SEC and you take the big whatever.
86.
Yeah. You combine the two you combine the two conferences. There are more teams there are more colleges in those two conferences than there are in the NFL or the NBA.
Easy. Yeah.
Hell, there's almost, there's almost more teams than the big whatever.
The big whatevers, my guess is by 2030 we'll have more teams than the NFL.
They will have multiple teams in every time zone of the country.
Yeah, that's right. You know my theme song, from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea. The big is on.
That's it. That is it.
All right, well, that's all I got about this. You have anything else to add, JP?
That's all, man. I'm just basically venting about this, but it is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Dallas Cowboys of college sports. That's exactly what it is. It's like, anytime we need to talk about something, well, there's always the NIL.
Go to the NIL.
The NIL just...
Oh, speaking of the NIL, let me ask you a question. Term's about to come up, right? When did the transfer portal start? Oh, was it start on Tuesday before the tournament starts?
Oh, for college basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That is a good question.
Yeah.
I know for college football, it ends right after the championship.
Actually, yeah. No, it's actually going on during the playoffs.
Yes.
This transfer portal.
Yeah. The championship of the conferences, like in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's
December.
When it's going on.
Right.
That's
December,
why it's all a mess.
First week in December, they have the championships of the conferences, and then it's like right after that. It's right. I think it's before Christmas, right?
When it starts, yeah.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. It really is. It's but basketball, I don't know. I wonder if it begins.
I'll look it up. I'll put a little pop up in the video when it starts.
Yeah, and I tell you another. I need to congratulate your Kentucky Wildcats right now because
on winning 20 games.
Them out saying that they shouldn't be in the tournament and all that. It's almost guaranteed they're going to go on a run and win the SEC.
No way.
Tournament.
There's no way. They got to win 5 games in 5 days. That ain't happening, homie.
Okay. You'll be the post. Maybe that's our first step to being gazillionaires because they're going to use our soundbite about they doubted us. Mm.
I'm getting on FanDuel right after this, baby. I'm putting a bet down. Wait, the players probably already did. All right, folks. Remember, like and subscribe because we need $1 gazillion because we're going to start placing some bets. Can't tell you what though because that would be what's the word? Uncouth. So long, everybody.
So long, everybody.